Once upon a time in a faraway kingdom under the sea, there lived a beautiful mermaid. She was known throughout the ocean for her stunning sapphire tail, which shimmered and shone like 1,000 stars. Every day she would swim through the coral reefs, brushing past the anemones with her tail and watching the colorful fish dart in and out of the coral. She loved her tail more than anything in the world. But the mermaid's greatest wish was to explore the world above the waves. Every day she would gaze up at the surface, watching the sun glint off the water and wondering what lay beyond. She had heard tales from the sailors whose ships would pass by, stories of a world made of sand and stone where people walked on 2 legs and trees reached for the sky. She longed to see it for herself. One day, the mermaid was swimming near the shore when she saw something strange. A young woman was sitting on a rock by the sea, crying. The mermaid swam closer and, using her magic, transformed into a human girl so she could talk to her. "Why are you sad?" she asked. "I'm to marry a prince I don't know," the girl replied, "and I'm afraid I'll never be happy." The mermaid knew exactly how she felt. For years, she had dreamed of exploring the world above the water, but she was too afraid to take the risk. But seeing the girl so upset, she knew she had to help. "Don't worry," she said. "I have an idea that will make you the most beautiful girl at the Prince's ball, and he, Elo, fall in love with you." The mermaid took the girl to her secret grotto, where all the mermaids in the kingdom gathered to tell stories and dreams. At the entrance was a huge starfish, its 5 arms spread wide like a crown. "This is the Starfish Crown," the mermaid explained. "It has the power to make any wish come true." The girl was skeptical, but desperate to find happiness. She agreed to try it. She placed the crown on her head and closed her eyes, wishing for a beautiful flowing gown and a pair of dancing shoes. When she opened her eyes, she gasped. Her plain clothes had been replaced by a magnificent gown that shimmered like 1,000 stars. And on her feet were a pair of dancing shoes that sparkled like diamonds. At that moment, the mermaid realized that the crown had also changed her voice. It had become weaker and sounded like the tinkling of bells. She tried to warn the girl, but when she spoke, all that came out was a series of musical notes. The girl didn't notice, however, and rushed off to the ball in her new finery. When the prince saw her, he was immediately smitten. He twirled her around the dance floor, and they laughed and joked like old friends. All the other girls at the party were envious of her beauty and wondered who she was. But the girl was too caught up in the music and the dancing to notice their stares. Meanwhile, the mermaid watched from afar, her heart pounding in her chest. She had never seen the girl so happy, and she knew that even if she couldn't have the Starfish Crown, she had done the right thing. As the night wore on, the girl began to feel a strange sensation in her throat. It was the power of the Starfish Crown fading, and soon she would have to choose between keeping her voice or remaining a mermaid. She looked at the prince, who was gazing at her adoringly, and knew what she had to do. She took off the crown and placed it on the mermaid's head. In that instant, the mermaid's voice returned, and she understood that the true magic was not in the crown, but in the power of friendship and kindness. From that day on, the mermaid and the girl were best friends. And whenever the mermaid felt sad about her inability to speak to humans, she would remember the night of the ball and the joy that she had brought to her friend's life. She knew that sometimes the greatest adventures are the ones that change you in ways you never imagined possible.